What if the most powerful moment of New Year's Eve isn't the loudest song, the brightest fireworks, or the biggest stage, but the artist everyone is quietly waiting for? As the final countdown approaches, CCTV's New Year's Eve Gala returns, not just as a television program, but as a national pause. And behind the scenes, a silent contest has already begun. Tonight, the real question is simple. Who can hold the audience until the very last second of the year? For a long time, New Year's Eve television was built on one assumption. Louder meant better. Bigger stages, faster rhythms, constant stimulation. The idea was simple. Fill every second so the audience would not leave. But today's viewers are different. After a year saturated with information, conflict and speed, what people seek at the final moment of the year is not excitement, but presence. Presence means feeling that someone on stage is truly there, not performing for attention, but sharing a moment. It is the difference between watching a show and quietly staying with it. On New Year's Eve, audiences are not chasing spectacle. They are looking for something that feels grounded, sincere, and emotionally real. CCTV's New Year's Eve Gala has gradually shifted to reflect this change. Silence is no longer empty. Slower pacing is no longer weakness. A single meaningful performance can outweigh 10 noisy ones. At the turning point of the year, viewers want reassurance rather than distraction. They want to feel that the year has been acknowledged, not erased. In that sense, presence becomes a form of respect towards time, towards memory, and towards the audience itself. On a stage like CCTV's New Year's Eve Gala, artists are not simply performers. They become emotional symbols, each carrying a different kind of weight into the final hours of the year. Some voices awaken memory. They remind viewers of earlier years, of simpler moments, of who they once were. Other artists offer comfort, softening the emotional edges of a difficult year, allowing people to breathe again. There are also performers who represent momentum, quietly suggesting that forward movement is still possible. What makes this dynamic powerful is not technical perfection, but emotional alignment. Viewers connect, not because an artist sings well, but because the performance resonates with what they personally need at that moment. CCTV's role is to balance these emotional currents. Too much nostalgia can feel heavy. Too much optimism can feel forced. The program succeeds when it creates an emotional journey rather than a collection of acts. In this context, ranking and anticipation are not about popularity alone. They reflect emotional demand. The most anticipated artists are often those whose presence feels necessary, not optional, because they fill a space that no one else can. Modern entertainment rewards visibility. Appear often, speak loudly, stay present in every conversation. Yet paradoxically, the more noise surrounds us, the more powerful restraint becomes. Restraint is not absence. It is intention. When an artist chooses fewer appearances, each moment carries greater weight. Audiences begin to associate that artist with quality rather than quantity. The expectation shifts from what are they doing now to what will they bring when they return. In a year-end context, restraint feels especially meaningful. New Year's Eve is already emotionally dense. Viewers are reflective, vulnerable, and attentive. They are less tolerant of excess and more responsive to clarity. CCTV understands this psychology. It does not place restrained artists everywhere. Instead, it positions them carefully, allowing anticipation to build naturally. The audience senses that something important is being held back, and that feeling keeps them watching. In this way, restraint becomes a quiet form of confidence. It signals trust. Trust in the audience's patience, and trust that a single moment done well can be enough. When discussing anticipation, one name consistently emerges: Wang Yibo. What distinguishes him is not frequency, but reliability. His public appearances are limited, yet when he steps onto a stage, the moment feels complete, carefully prepared, emotionally contained, and visually precise. Audiences have learned something over time. When he appears, the performance will matter, not because it is overwhelming, but because it is deliberate. Nothing feels accidental. Nothing feels rushed. This creates a rare form of trust. Viewers are willing to wait because previous experiences have rewarded that patience. Anticipation grows not through marketing, but through memory. On New Year's Eve, this trust becomes especially powerful. As midnight approaches, audiences instinctively hold on, believing that his appearance, if it happens, will provide a sense of closure. In that sense, Wang Yibo does not dominate the night. He anchors it. His presence suggests that the year will end with intention rather than excess. And that is precisely why attention gathers around him. As New Year's Eve progresses, something subtle happens in the audience's mind. Even without checking the time, viewers begin to feel the approach of midnight. Each minute carries more emotional weight than the last. This is the invisible countdown effect. People do not want to miss the moment when the year turns. They stay, even through segments that are not their favorites, because they sense that something meaningful may still arrive. CCTV structures its program around this instinct. Performances are not only arranged by popularity, but by emotional timing. The most anticipated moments are often placed where attention naturally peaks. Artists associated with reliability and emotional clarity benefit most from this effect. Their presence feels like a reward for patience. Viewers feel justified in staying. The countdown is not driven by clocks, but by feeling. By the time the final performances arrive, the audience is emotionally open, ready to receive something that will define their memory of the night. That is why anticipation matters more than surprise. People are not seeking shock, they are seeking completion. Perhaps the most meaningful way to understand New Year's Eve performances is this: they are promises. A promise that the year just lived has been acknowledged. A promise that hardship has been seen. A promise that moving forward is possible. When a performance carries sincerity, it becomes more than sound and movement. It becomes a quiet agreement between the stage and the audience. We were here together at this moment. This is why restraint, presence, and emotional clarity matter so much. They turn performance into something personal. Viewers do not remember every song, but they remember how the night made them feel. On New Year's Eve, people are not asking for perfection. They are asking for meaning. A single, honest moment can provide that. In this light, the most anticipated performances are not about dominance or spectacle. They are about trust. Trust that the final moments of the year will feel intentional, calm, and worthy of remembrance. And when that promise is fulfilled, the audience carries it quietly into the year ahead. So when the year-end battle for audiences reaches its peak, it is not won by noise or numbers. It is won by presence, restraint, and trust. And that is why this New Year's Eve, so many eyes will be waiting for one name, not to dominate the night, but to complete it. If you enjoyed this deeper look into the stories behind the stage, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for StarWatch now. Thank you for spending these moments with us. May the year ahead be calm, meaningful, and full of moments worth waiting for. See you in the next video.